She shows some tension in this forehand, which is quite possibly why she actually just turned round, because she wanted me to stand here and work with this one. Before I work with the shoulders, it always makes sense to work with the thorax rotation. And if you can imagine, if the head of the horse is here and this is the thorax can twist, which would mean that the spinal processes of the vertebrae will twist to one side or to the other. They won't be central. And that also means that if you can imagine, if the spinal processes twist that way, the sternum between the two front legs will be twisted the other way. So one way of checking whether the thorax has been rotated or not is you can measure the distance between the top of the shoulder blade and the withers and see whether that's the same on both sides. What I find is a little bit more accurate, it's not so easy here because she's not on level ground, but if you get between, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this, but if you feel between her front legs and poke around and feel the edge of the sternum and see how much space you've got between that edge of the sternum and the front leg on that side, and I can just about get 1.5 fingers in on this side. On the other side, on the opposite side, again I go find the sternum, go into the edge, and there I can get the 2 of the fingers in and a little bit, which it would indicate that the thorax with Bexy Rose has rotated this way. So the sternums come nearer this front leg and the spinal processes of the vertebrae will be twisted over the other way. So to treat that, in the orthobionomy we go in the free direction. So I've got contact with her breastbone, with the sternum, on the flat of my hands, so her breastbone's here. And I've got contact with her withers. And what I'm going to do, because I already know that the thorax is rotated in that direction, I'm going to push it in the free direction. So I'm going to give a little bit of a push to the withers in that direction. And I push and I hold, and you either hold for about 20 seconds, or if you begin to feel movements underneath you, and that's what I'm feeling at the moment, as I'm feeling that thorax rotation is coming back. So the sternum is beginning to move towards her right, away from me, and the withers beginning to move towards me. And I wait. Again, I can feel a tension building up, which would indicate some sort of she's chewing, which is fantastic to hear. I can't see it at the moment, but she's chewing, which means that she's having a big release. And now I'm beginning to feel a lot more movement coming into that thorax. It's beginning to tip so that the sternum is going underneath her and the withers are coming forwards, which would indicate the free direction first of all, and now it's coming back. The sternum's coming up and the withers are just beginning to sink down. And again we've got a bit of a trauma shake in there. She's distracted. You get a feeling of when the reaction's finished. You sort of you feel as if your hands are being pushed away, or the horse gets distracted. Yeah, we're done. She's saying, come on, you're done. So what happened was the thorax was twisted that way, which is the direction I went into the free direction, and then it begins to come back by itself, and then it tipped this way and then came back again to find its neutral, stable position. So what we can test now is the distance between the sternum and the front leg. Now I can get 2 fingers in on this side, and I can get 2 fingers in on the other side. So whereas we had at the beginning 1.5 fingers on this side and almost 2.5 on this side, we've now got the 2 fingers. So the thorax has come back and derotated, which is lovely.